One thing that looking for trends in graphs can help us do is make predictions about the future. Some graphs follow very clear trends that allow us to make predictions. So for example, what will the population of Australia be in 2020? So looking at the graph, we have the Australian population from 1990 to just past 2000, but we see that basically since 1945 or so, it's been a pretty steady increase until today, which means that we're probably safe to extend that graph to this point in 2020. That should be pretty safe to do. Now, obviously, there can be a bunch of different factors that can change this, but it's a prediction that we can make with probably pretty good confidence. So I'm trying to track this line to the y-axis, but I'm dipping down a little bit. Gotta sort of get back to the true height of that point. There we go. So I think that a good estimate or a good prediction of the population in 2020 would be about 24 million. Here's another strong trend. So this is the NASA budget as a percentage of the federal budget. So what we're seeing is that as a percentage of the federal budget, the NASA budget has been trending downwards pretty steadily. So, you know, if this is 2012, this is probably 2015. The scale's going up by every 3 years. So 2018, 2021. You know, we might be able to estimate the NASA budget as a percent of the federal budget in the future is going to be quite a bit lower. With other graphs, it can be really, really hard to make predictions. So here's crude oil prices in Texas from 1998 to 2009. And we see that there's a pretty steady increase. It looks like it would have been very easy to make a prediction up until about 2007. But then in 2007, there's a really sharp increase to 2008, and then a huge decrease until 2009. So how do you make a prediction in 2009 about what the price is going to be about here? Let me extend this x-axis a little bit. So if that's 2008, 2009, this should be about 2010. How do you make a prediction about what it's going to do? Is it going to continue? Is it going to shoot back up sharply like what it did before the crash? There's a sharp increase like what it did before the crash. Is it going to increase slowly like what it was doing for these many years between 2002 and 2007? Or is it going to continue to crash down? In this case, it's just too hard to make a prediction based on the recent trends. We often call a line that doesn't follow a nice pattern a weak trend, as opposed to a strong trend. And a weak trend is bad for predictions. You even have to be careful about strong trends. As we saw, well, I mean, you can see it here. Between 1993 and 2001, there was a pretty strong trend in the decrease in unemployment, but then it leveled off after that. So, you know, you even have to be careful with strong trends, but when you get a big picture and you see something going up and down, it's a very weak trend.